à ceux qui nous ont rejoints pour cet après-midi, que ce soit en présentiel dans l'amphithéâtre de l'ENSM du Havre ou à distance. Après la matinée qui était consacrée aux enjeux de sécurité, l'après-midi sera placé sous le spectre économique. Et pour commencer cet après-midi, nous allons visionner une capsule de monsieur Jean-Marie Pogam, qui est directeur général adjoint à l'Organisation mondiale du commerce depuis 2021. Donc, Jean-Marie Pogam était auparavant délégué permanent de la France auprès de l'OMC et il a bien sûr exercé plusieurs responsabilités auparavant en matière de commerce, de développement et de finances internationales au sein de la Direction générale du Trésor en France et aussi au sein des Nations Unies. Jean-Marie Pogam a collaboré à l'Institut français des relations internationales, l'IFRI, en tant que chercheur senior sur les questions de politique commerciale, en particulier sur le thème du développement. Jean-Marie est un ancien élève de l'École nationale d'administration, donc l'ancien nom de l'INSP, et diplômé donc de l'ENA, diplômé également en droit des affaires et en sciences politiques de l'université d'Aix-Marseille. Donc nous écoutons Jean-Marie Pogam.
Chers professeurs, chères étudiantes et étudiants, chers responsables d'entreprise, mesdames et messieurs, le commerce mondial et le transport maritime entretiennent depuis toujours un lien consubstantiel. Vous le savez, 80% du volume des marchandises est acheminé par voie de mer. Les routes maritimes sont les artères de la mondialisation. Elles relient les continents et rapprochent les économies. Elles sont aussi traversées par toutes les tensions de notre époque. On y transporte aussi bien du matériel militaire que des médicaments pour lutter contre les épidémies ou des denrées vitales. La relation entre commerce et transport maritime ne s'est jamais mieux portée qu'au cours des 70 dernières années, depuis la création du système commercial multilatéral avec le GATT en 1947, qui s'est transformé en OMC en 1994. Commerçants et marins ont ainsi bénéficié d'un cadre juridique stable et prévisible. Ce cadre est fondé sur 3 exigences juridiques aussi simples que puissantes qui gouvernent le comportement des États. La transparence, les États doivent publier leurs actes, dire ce qu'ils font. La non-discrimination, qu'on appelle aussi clause de la nation la plus favorisée entre les pays, et le respect des engagements pris vis-à-vis des autres, c'est-à-dire la bonne foi. Sur ce socle de principes a été réalisée une libéralisation progressive du commerce mondial qui a donné naissance à l'ère dans laquelle nous nous trouvons encore aujourd'hui, qui est celle de la mondialisation. Mais ce cadre est aujourd'hui bloqué et partiellement remis en cause. Bloqué parce qu'il y existe des divergences d'intérêts entre 166 membres de l'OMC et un certain ressentiment exprimé par de nombreux pays en développement qui jugent que les règles actuelles sont déséquilibrées à leur détriment. Remis en cause, le cadre l'est par la politique commerciale, entre autres de la nouvelle administration américaine, qui provoque un choc majeur dans l'économie mondiale, avec pour la première fois depuis 1947, une remontée des droits de douane. Le système construit autour de l'OMC est donc confronté à une forte tempête. Plus généralement, nous observons, en particulier en 2025, une hausse nette des mesures de restriction au commerce qui sont adoptées par les États. Le commerce mondial s'en ressent. Nous anticipons son ralentissement brutal en 2026, avec une croissance des échanges limitée à 0,5% contre 2,5% cette année. Nous assistons à une fragmentation croissante des échanges, due aux tensions géopolitiques, aux mesures unilatérales et à l'émergence d'accords bilatéraux qui fragilisent potentiellement la lisibilité, la prévisibilité juridique et, in fine, la stabilité du système commercial multilatéral. Le commerce maritime s'en trouve bien sûr affecté de manière immédiate, avec des enjeux par exemple sur les délais de livraison, la hausse des coûts d'assurance et, in fine, l'augmentation des émissions de gaz à effet de serre. Alors que faire ? Faut-il se résigner à voir s'évanouir un système qui a engendré tant de prospérité et auquel les professionnels de votre secteur restent profondément attachés ? En réalité, l'OMC demeure indispensable. C'est le seul forum où 166 économies, grandes et petites, peuvent se coordonner et construire un ordre international fondé sur des règles. Et d'ailleurs, 72% du commerce mondial continue aujourd'hui de respecter le principe majeur de l'OMC, qui est celui de la clause de la nation la plus favorisée ou non-discrimination. Nous étions à 80% en fin 2024. Donc il y a une baisse réelle, une érosion, mais ça ne constitue pas un point de basculement. Les 3/4 du commerce mondial restent attachés à ces règles. Nous recevons pourtant un avertissement clair. Pour préserver le système, il faut l'adapter aux réalités du XXIe siècle. C'est là tout l'enjeu des mois et des années qui viennent, réformer l'OMC pour la renforcer. Cela signifie qu'il va falloir repenser les mécanismes de décision, rééquilibrer les droits et responsabilités des membres selon leur niveau de développement, assurer des règles de compétition loyales entre États, restaurer un mécanisme efficace de règlement des disputes entre les puissances commerciales. Mais pour beaucoup, cette réforme ne doit pas se limiter à l'efficacité institutionnelle, elle doit permettre à l'OMC de contribuer à répondre aux défis globaux, en particulier ceux issus de la transition écologique et de la nouvelle économie numérique. Les règles du commerce ne peuvent pas rester figées pendant que l'économie mondiale évolue, et le climat, par exemple, enjeu vital de notre temps, représente une question centrale. Le secteur maritime illustre très bien cette dynamique, vous la connaissez. Le secteur est soumis à une pression constante pour se décarboner, avec des attentes réglementaires et industrielles fortes. Et pourtant, 90% de la flotte mondiale fonctionne encore aux énergies fossiles, malgré une montée des commandes de navires à carburant alternatifs. Armateurs, logisticiens, industriels anticipent, investissent et influencent les trajectoires technologiques. Les États régulent, notamment en agissant sur le prix du carbone. Mais des approches divergentes risquent de créer des distorsions et de fragmenter les marchés. D'où l'importance des négociations entreprises à l'Organisation Maritime internationale, l'OMI, qui visent à établir un standard mondial sur les carburants et un mécanisme de tarification du carbone. Ces discussions, vous le savez, sont pour l'instant bloquées. Et à bien des égards, l'OMC fait face à des défis similaires. Négociations complexes, difficultés à construire un consensus, même sur des enjeux d'urgence partagée. Des discussions informelles sur la relation entre commerce et climat ont commencé à l'OMC et s'articulent de manière croissante autour de l'idée de renforcer l'interopérabilité des politiques climatiques et environnementales et le rapprochement des standards industriels. Mesdames et messieurs, chers professeurs et étudiants, ces défis sont évidemment considérables, mais s'ils se ramènent en fait à une seule question, le monde parviendra-t-il mieux à œuvrer pour la prospérité globale et résoudre ses problèmes communs par la voie de la coopération et de la règle commune, ou au contraire doit-on céder au repli sur soi et à la poursuite exclusive des intérêts nationaux? Je vous laisse avec cette interrogation. Vous l'imaginez facilement, je n'ai pour ma part aucun doute quant à la réponse, et c'est pour ça que je continue d'œuvrer à une modernisation de l'OMC, que je crois essentielle pour l'avenir du commerce mondial et du transport maritime. J'espère vous en avoir convaincu. Je vous souhaite en tout cas d'en discuter avec beaucoup d'intérêt et de passion et vous souhaite d'excellents travaux. Merci de votre attention.
Alors après cette intervention de Jean-Marie Pogam, je voudrais accueillir Yusuke Mori. Yusuke Mori est un spécialiste reconnu de l'enseignement et de la formation maritime et il a construit sa carrière entre la mer et les institutions. Officier de marine marchande, instructeur pendant plus de 10 ans sur les grands navires-écoles japonais. Et oui, parce que Yusuke arrive tout juste du Japon, pour nous et pour vous. Il a par la suite rejoint le ministère des Transports du Japon, où il a été chargé du contrôle par l'État du port, au cœur des enjeux de régulation du commerce maritime international. Yusuke est diplômé de la World Maritime University et il est aujourd'hui directeur général adjoint de l'International Association of Maritime Universities, association internationale que nous avons rejoint cette année. Yusuke a en outre un doctorat en affaires maritimes et sa thèse portait sur l'évolution de l'enseignement et la formation maritime face au changement du transport mondial et aux dynamiques géopolitiques qui en résultent. Donc nous allons écouter Yusuke. Yusuke n'est pas francophone, donc il... oui, on va tout avoir. Et donc Yusuke fera son intervention en anglais. Je vous remercie de l'accueillir chaleureusement.
I'm sorry I cannot speak French, so I will deliver in English. Bonjour, je m'appelle Yusuke Mori from Japan. I'm honored to be here to share some insight and also my knowledge in these beautiful conferences. And my name is Yusuke Mori. I'm Deputy Executive Director of the International Association Maritime University. This is actually my second visit in these institutions, but my first time was back in 2014 when I was a master's student at Maritime University. But I think that was the last moment of the last building. Just after my visit, maybe this building was built and they moved to here, I think. And this morning I heard a very beautiful French discussion, a beautiful discussion in French that recalls me a lot about my history with the French. Because I took the course, the French as a second language when I was a university student. And one day I came to know the phrase, je ne sais pas. And actually immediately after my knowledge, I asked my friend, do you know the meaning of the je ne sais pas? He said, I don't know. You know French. So it's just a small talk of before presentation. Anyway, today I'm talking about the global maritime professional and also a little bit about my associations because most of the people here that do not know anything about my association. So here's my outline of my presentations. Again, I will start about IMU and its activities a little bit. And then I'm talking about the status quo of the maritime industry and also the future of the shipping industry. And followed by the global maritime professional and the future of maritime education training. So my discussion is a little bit more on maritime education training and more about the future seafarers things. So already my bio was introduced, so I skipped all the information, but I want to say that I'm the crazy for football. Maybe you can see it on the top of the picture. I'm still playing my football in not professional league, and I know one Japanese guy are now playing in renouvelé. I want to be an ex-Sophie. Anyway, and also another highlight will be I just obtained my PhD in last week. Actually, 12th of November was my doctor day. So, thank you very much. ありがとうございます。Okay, let's a little bit talking about the IMU. So what stands for IMU? We are the International Association Maritime University. It's easy to understand what the association is all about. We are founded in 1999 with the Maritime University, which offering the maritime education training, let's say seafarer education training, with the Bachelor of Science level. And also offering the postgraduate degree, like a Master of Science or PhD. So all of our member universities are ranked or categorized as higher education training institutions. So our member doesn't have any vocational education training. So all of us, let's say it's a high level of maritime education training. We obtained an NGO status at IMO in 2007. And we have now 83 members from 44 countries. We congratulate the new membership for ESCOR, Nationale, Super Maritime for becoming our new members. Welcome. So we are the association, again, we are the association of producing the higher education. So we are the association of maritime education institutions. We explore the quality of maritime education training beyond STCW. And we are the association of the university. We aim to be a center of excellence in the maritime education training. And we are the association of the global network. We encourage collaborative activities among member universities. As an association with the NGO at IMO, it's quite important for us to place ourselves as a voice of a maritime education training. So it's particularly important for the upcoming revision of the STCW conventions. We are preparing some proposal to input from the voices. Some of the activities, maybe I can skip this slide. It's not so relevant to all of you. But we are basically producing some opportunity for the member university to do the research activities, to do the development project activities. We are also providing the opportunity for our member university to participate IMO meetings. So basically, we are funding association, but we also producing the opportunity to collaborate or work together. Please. So we organize an General Assembly. It's one of the decision-making body for this association. The last October, we have AGA in Chennai, India. And next year, we will organize AGA in Split, Croatia. It's a beautiful city, again. So more like a practical, we call them like a soldiers. So they are really doing something to improve something. So we have 5 working groups all actively working in different expertise. For instance, we have a PAES scheme. This is activity based on the memorandum of understanding of the Philippines or Kenya. We are producing some kind of the academic advice to improve their educational level. We also have a memorandum of understanding with South African institution, also like giving the capacity buildings. And we also have a working group on research project or academic publication to aim to improve the quality of the research product. And we also have very practical working groups, simulator training, and also STCW working groups. Those people are doing for improving the quality of maritime education training. Okay, let's take a look at the current status quo of maritime education training. So not maritime education training, this is shipping industry as a whole. This morning we are listening about the geopolitical tensions, how it affects the maritime trade. Of course, this is one of the most important, significant one. But we also have environmental concerns, also technological advancement. So those are disruptive forces very much affecting the shipping industry as a whole. Of course, shipping industry affected, meaning maritime education training is also affected. So many people now start discussing about what is the future of the shipping. Of course, many of the trials already conducted through, for instance, the ammonia, methanol, nuclear, or different kind of the alternative fuels. And maybe some people may prefer to say that we need more mass or autonomous shipping or more remote control shipping. But I think those discussions related to mass and also remote control ships, it's sparked by the shortage of the seafarers. Let's take a look at Norway. Let's take a look at Japan. In the case of Japan, we have a very significant shortage for the domestic shipping seafarers. That's why many industrial organizations started actually development of these remote control ships. There are so many unmanned ships already there in Japan, in the domestic shipping. So you can see around 50 is already operated. But I cannot see immediate shifts in the shipping, international shipping. Maybe next slide I will discuss a little bit about it. And the important thing is we did not find the competencies necessary to operate those kind of the alternative fuels because already methanol ships are there. But who knows what competencies is needed to operate a methanol ship? Nobody knows. That is very important because always technological advancement is coming first and then regulation comes next. And finally, maritime education training coming the last. That is the problem of the maritime education training. We need to wait, always. Anyway, let's explain. I want to introduce the very, very interesting fact happening in the 40 years before. In 1980, in Japan, actually, there was super big project has been done by many stakeholders, including the shipping company, administrations, education training institutions, those people working together and discussing how many seafarers, let's say, how we can reduce the number of the crew on board. And then their conclusion is that, okay, we identify 10 is the minimum. Can you imagine 10? 10 crew members on board. That is their conclusion. And another interesting point is that their conclusions say that there is no boundary between the deck and the engine. So those 10 people who has both certification of the deck side and also engine side, then deck officer can serve as an engine officer can also serve as a deck officer, so that we can reduce the number from 20 to 10. But what happened after that? After 1 year's experimental study, those 10 crew members suffered mental health issues because there are 2 less crew members, there's no social interaction, there is no crossover during the lifetime. So they are mentally fatigued. Then they decided no more. Then they increased the number of the crew member to 20 or 25, now even more. The another thing is that they happened in the year 2000. There was a very, very rich discussion about how simulator can replace onboard training. And actually USA, Netherlands started implement the reducing the sea time. In the case of the Netherlands, they reduced the 3-month onboard training by the simulator. In the case of the US, it's more dynamic, but I cannot say here. But 20 years after, again, we have a new discussion about autonomous shipping. There is no crew members on board. We call it maybe operators in the future. In the same time, in the 2022, 2 another nations started implementing replacing onboard training by simulators. I don't know how it's interrelated, but somehow I can see some relationship between those discussions. In terms of the autonomous shipping, I can see now the people see, again, the shortage of the seafarers, volumes of the goods are increasing, the shortage is more significant, but volume is increasing, but the still cost is very expensive for development of the mass. And also perceptions, because anyone here want to take a airplane without pilot? That is a similar questions, right? Maybe most of the passengers on the cruise ship not want to take a cruise ship without captain. So those kind of the perception or perception need to be changed in the coming years. At certain point, maybe the shipping company feel the benefit from having the autonomous ships or remote control ships, then there are some gradual shifts will happen in the shipping industry. Okay, this is another fact. So in the 1816, there are 250 people on board for operating the sailing ship. So many people are needed. And then drastic changes in the 1980 or even the 1900. And now we are coming the number about 55 or 25 or 30 people on board. But it's not changed from the 2000 till now. Please. And then there are the discussion. We have shortage of the seafarers. Oh, but please. I don't know what is the interrelationship with the shortage of seafarers, or we need more people on board. Okay. Of course, then the significant question for us: what is the future seafarers? What kind of education is needed? What kind of the competency will be needed? So all those questions are coming in the same time. Then IMU, this association, critical thinking about what is the future of our graduate, what kind of the professional we should produce in the upcoming the changes in the digital age. Then we came to conclusion that the global maritime professional is kind of the good terminology to use, because our graduate is not only to be a seafarers, but also working in a different kind of the industry, different kind of the professionals. Listed here like a fleet manager, maritime administrations, officer on board, MET instructors, researcher in the maritime affairs. So those, I mean, our graduate has to be very professional to become any kind of the professional. So that's the concept behind our initiative. Then first we need to identify what is the description of such global maritime professional. Simply say, global maritime professional is those who have competence, technological competences, but in the same time, who has academic professionals, academic competencies, and also critical thinking, all the necessary soft skills. So it's like a combination of all the discussion about maritime community. So we first description, we identified the description of the GMP, and we did the survey for member university, shipping industry, what is the necessary competency for short term and long term. And then finally, we compiled those information into one publication. If you wish, please take a picture on this picture. Because this publication is kind of the new document beyond the STCW. If you take a look at the contents of this document, you can see what competencies needed to be a global maritime professional. For like students, maybe you can take a look at what kind of the skill or competencies are needed for the future to be a global maritime professional. Of course, GMP have 4 different tiers. First tier is STCW operational level with Bachelor of Science. The next level will be management level STCW competencies with a Bachelor of Science. Tier C is management level competencies with Master of Science. Then tier D is management level competencies with Doctor of Philosophy. Now, I'm categorized in this highest tier in the global maritime professional. So I'm like a model cases for, to talking about the global maritime professional. Anyway, let's go to the next slide. I can skip this. Okay, my very personal the view for what is the future of the maritime education training. I think the Escola Nacional Superior Maritime is very much aligned in this direction. Because we did a survey, one of the working group did a survey, how we can incorporate the new competencies in the coming years to a current existing curriculum. Most of the people say, no more. There is no space to add more, the subject in the existing curriculum. No more. It's impossible. I can see the same tendency because we are no more educate more, like I discussed a little bit about ammonia, methanol, those kind of the new skills. So many people in the industry say that, hey, you educate all competencies. You have to teach your engineering cadets about ammonia, methanol, nuclear, everything. No, we cannot do that. No more. So basic idea from my personal view is that MET is a place where more generic, theoretical, very principal knowledge to be educated during this 3 years or 4 years academic program. But with the critical thinking or adaptability or flexibility, those people who are educated at very generalist can apply their knowledge in the different field. Ammonia, methanol, any kind of the field. Because I have a friend who are engineering background. He said there is no such a big difference to operate the methanol, ammonia if you know the basic. So that's the idea behind. But we can delegate those practical training for the industry side. Because we educate the very generalists who can apply their knowledge into different kind of the professionals, but industry needs to educate those people to be a professional in that field. Because each shipping company have a different requirement. Each shipping company have a different priority, let's say. Then this well-balanced delegation of the responsibility in education may the best model for the future maritime education training from my personal perspective. Then final slide, yes. And to do so, of course, we should work together. We worked with IMO, of course. We work in the international, Intertanko, ICS, industrial organization to identify necessary competence standards. So this triple helix approach is always very helpful to identify the future competency skill. Yeah. To say, work together for better shipping, for better future. That is my final words in my slide. Merci beaucoup. I think it's exactly the 20 minutes. Perfect.
Maybe there are some questions for Yusuke.
I'm going to go ahead in English, since that
Thank
you
you
have been
very much.
speaking in English. I think it will be easier for you to understand. Also because my French is not fantastic. I found what you have been saying very interesting, especially because last weekend I was in Hong Kong at a conference organized by the International Chamber of Shipping, by the ICS. And the title was Building Resilience, Driving Growth and Investment. And one of the many things we have been discussing, especially on Sunday when it was a closed door one with some ministers, was the matter of education of seafarers. It's interesting what you say, but the biggest problem, the biggest challenge we are presently facing, and I can tell you that it's something which is also happening in Far East, is that the sea is not attractive anymore. It's not attractive because we are used to live well. We don't want to spend 4 months away from home and so on. So at the same time, when we are talking of ocean navigation, to think about a manned ship is still quite complicated. How do you see the chances to improve or find solutions? Because one thing which was mentioned as well was the matter that we are talking about alternative fuel, but then you need people able to handle alternative fuel. It's not a matter of when you are handling a different engine or kind of fuel, you must know how to use. So from your point of view, I've been a teacher as well, and I have been at sea as well. From your point of view, how do you see the way to tackle this problem?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a very interesting question, and also
sorry, I forgot to say who I am.
Okay.
Madame told me I had to. Yes, I am Fulvio Carlini. I am a shipbroker coming from Italy, but I am the president of ONASBA, of the Association of Shipbrokers and Agents. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanya, again for your interesting questions. I think it's a very complex issues ahead of us, because one of my slides saying that there are some points needed to be, identified how or when the timing is coming. Like a cell phone, this cell phone is starting like a big box with the cable like this, but at some point, the very cost effectiveness of the cell phone change the world, and then it's like a sign. The curve is something like a very steep. So I think it's the same thing as happened for the autonomous shipping. So if there is a certain point where a cost effectiveness or some reduce the amount of the money to build such ship, then maybe shipping company understand that the benefit for having such vessels. But it's also related to the mental health issue because now currently seafarers are serving on board is a very harsh environment. Because of my PhD also are related to my topic, but many seafarers are very fatigued, and now people understand how seafarers are in condition of the fatigue. But those issues are just abandoned for many years. But people notice that how the seafarer job is a very harsh environment and it's a very difficult job. Then it's also related to young generation to jump in the shipping company, shipping industry. So those issues are all interconnected, and also somehow that's why people may want to have unmanned ships, because it's beneficial for the seafarers because they can work onshore and to just monitor the shipping from the onshore, and they can go back to home after work. So I think those kind of the factors are all interrelated. So at some point, maybe the current ongoing discussion at IMO level is very, very active for mental health issue and sexual harassment. I think the issues and the new generation and also the development of unmanned ships, it has to be discussed together. So it's very complex for me. Merci beaucoup.